Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone ever well. Peace and salutation to the overflow, like out here pushing truth and sincerity. The water for y'all do, we love you, we appreciate you, the spirit of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, and Shalom. If you're watching this now, you're so-called Black, Native American, or Latino, man or woman, you're a Hebrew Israelite according to the Holy Bible. And if you watching this now, you don't look like a so-called Black, Native American, or Latino man or woman, but you feel like this is the truth and it resonates with your spirit, then there's a good chance that you could be a Hebrew Israelite as well. All right, since this is the Passover, all right, we're in the time of the Passover, all right, which was sundown last night to sundown today. This is a good chapter to go into. All right, you read this chapter during the Passover services. All right, this is what we went through. This is how the Most High delivered us, and the details involved. So you read this chapter and just read it through. All right, and hey, man, I brought this out. It's edifying. It says, Exodus 12:1, and the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. So January 1st is not the first month and the first day and the first hour of the year. All right. December 31st at 12 midnight is not the beginning of the new year when it's all cold and shit. All right. And everything's dead and dying still from the winter. All right, the new year begins during the spring, all right, or at least kicks off the spring, because why? It's springing in a new year. Everything's starting to blossom again. The trees are starting to get their leaves back, and birds are out chirping, and you get that kind of like alive spirit back into the world again. Even people, they go from being cold and wet all the time from all the snow, and it goes into kind of like a springy type of mentality. Everything's more like lively again and stuff. Weather's getting better, things like that. So verse 2 is, this month shall be unto you the beginning of the months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. So it's the first month, man. So that's the beginning, the Passover. Whenever the Passover is, that's when the beginning of the new year is coming in. It says, Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel, all right, which are these so-called Blacks, Native Americans, Latinos, saying, In the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it, according to the number of the souls, every man according to his eating shall make your account for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats. So at that time, there was, the lamb had to be perfect. If you're celebrating the Passover, you have to have lamb. Pretty much any lamb that's good to eat, that's not, damaged or anything like that, nowadays. It says, And ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on 2 side posts and on the upper door posts of the house, wherein they shall eat it. Which we don't do that anymore. Yahweh Shai is our blood. He was our blood sacrifice. He died on the cross for our sins and stuff like that. So we don't need to post blood. We don't need to strike blood on the posts of our doors and stuff like that during the time of Passover. Now it's more spiritual. It says, And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. So that's lamb. That's lamb. Uh, unleavened bread, which is like, bread without yeast. Bread without leavening, of course. No cookies, no chips, things like that. I mean, some chips have nacho chips. Some of them are unleavened though. They're more like tortilla chips. That'd be more kind of like unleavened bread type of bread. And with bitter herbs, and bitter herbs is usually we have horseradish. That's the best kind of bitter herb. That's you eat that, it cleans out your body and stuff like that. It says, eat not of it raw nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire his head, his hand, his legs, and with puritanness thereof. So that's you cook the whole lamb, you eat the lamb, all of it. And usually, all the lamb that you have, you cook it up and you eat it, man. And it can't be raw. None of our meat is supposed to be raw when we eat it. It says, and ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remaineth of it until the morning ye shall burn with fire. All right, so you got to eat it all. All of it has to go, man. All right, and if there's any left over, you're supposed to burn it. But, we eat it all, man, when we do the Passover. It says, and thus shall ye eat it with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. So the Lord's Passover is supposed to be eaten in haste, man. It's not, you're supposed to eat and go. You're not supposed to be clowning around and doing concerts, talking about business. It's the Lord's Passover, man. It's a remembrance. All right. It says, for I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. So, all the firstborns, man, and that night was to die. It says, and the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where ye are, and when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. So at that time, if you didn't have the blood on the doorposts, right, then you were gonna die, man. Well, the firstborn was gonna be put to death that night. All right, and it didn't matter what it was, the firstborn son or firstborn daughter or firstborn cat. It could be anything, man. Firstborn was gonna die, man. All right. But if you had the blood over the post, then you were safe. So the blood nowadays, that's the word from Yahweh. Well, that's the being a part of the elect, having the Spirit and His truth, and following Yahweh Shai. That's the blood, because He spilled His blood in order to save us. Abaratazah, we be a part of the elect, It says, and this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout Yahweh, throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. So that's an ordinance we have to obey and keep the Passover, man. It says, 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the seventh day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. So no leavened bread and substances in your house. All right, take it all out for a week. And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation, and in the seventh day there shall be an holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat. That only may be done of you. For that day is it's a Sabbath day. It's a holy day. It says, and ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in the selfsame day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. And the first month of the 14th day of the month at even, which is sundown, ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 1 and 20th day of the month at even. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses. For whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land. Ye shall eat nothing leavened, and all your habitations shall and all your habitations man. It says, ye shall eat nothing leavened, and all your habitations shall ye eat unleavened bread. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel, and said unto them, draw out and take you a lamb according to your families, and kill the Passover. And ye shall take a bunch of hyssop, and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 side posts with the blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out at the door of his house until the morning, for the Lord will pass through to smite the Egyptians. And when he seeth the blood upon the lintel and on the 2 side posts, the Lord will pass over the door, and will not suffer the destroyer to come into your house to smite you. Into your houses to smite you. So that's plain. That's self-explanatory, man. And ye shall observe this thing for an ordinance to thee and to thy sons forever. And it shall come to pass, when ye be come to the land which the Lord will give you, according as he hath promised, that ye shall keep the service. And so it's important to keep the Passover, man. We don't keep Christmas, we don't keep Easter, Thanksgiving, none of that shit. We're supposed to keep the Passover. And it shall come to pass, when your children shall say unto you, what mean ye by the service? That ye shall say, it is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses. And the people bowed the head and worshipped. And the children of Israel went away and did as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle, and that's crazy, man, because people waking up, they screaming, their firstborn they're dying. The ones, even Pharaoh, all the way down to a captive that was in a dungeon, even his firstborn had died. It says, and Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all the servants and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. So you got to imagine the screams that people, that they heard from their firstborns being killed, man. It says, and he called for Moses and Aaron by night, and said, rise up and get you forth from among my people, both ye and the children of Israel, and go serve the Lord as ye have said. He's like, yeah, man, get out of here, man, because you're a curse upon us, man, just having you here as slaves and whatnot. Also take your flocks and your herds as ye have said, and be gone and bless me also. And he's even looking for a blessing, man. It says, and the Egyptians were urgent upon the people that they might send them out of the land in haste, but they said, we be all dead men. Because they know what their fate is if they keep the children of Israel in captivity. That's what's going on right now in America, man. They're going through these different plagues and stuff right now because they have the Lord's people. It says, and the people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading throws, being bound up in their clothes upon their shoulders. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptian jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. And the Lord Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians. And this is why we left in haste, man. The Egyptians, the firstborns were all dying, so we had to hurry up and go. We didn't have time to be partying and doing concerts and shit. It says, and the children of Israel journeyed from Ramesses to
succeth about 600,000 on foot that were men beside children. And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they brought forth out of Egypt, for it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt and could not tarry, neither had they prepared for themselves any victual. So the stuff that they had, they needed to hurry up and make the stuff just to have something to eat, so they can, on a journey and stuff like that. That's all they had time to do. They didn't have time to sit there and bake the bread, and they didn't even have that much time to bake the bread. That's the crazy part. So that's letting you know how fast we had to get up out of there. All right. It says, now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the selfsame day, it came to pass that all the hosts of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt. It is a night to be much observed unto the Lord for bringing them out from the land of Egypt. This is that night of the Lord Yahweh to be observed of all the children of Israel in their generations. So we must all keep the Passover, right? Not Christmas, not Thanksgiving, not Easter, not birthdays, all right? It says, and the Lord Yahweh said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof, but every man's servant that is bought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. A foreigner and a hired servant shall not eat thereof. In one's house shall it be eaten. Thou shalt not carry forth out of the flesh abroad out of the house, neither shall ye break a bone thereof. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to the Lord Yahweh, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it, and he shall be as one that is born in the land. For no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. One law shall be to him that is homeborn. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among you. Thus did all the children of Israel, and the Lord Yahweh commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass the selfsame day that the Lord Yahweh did bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their armies. So we left in droves, man. All of us, man. Everyone left, and that broke the Egyptians. And when we left in haste. We hurried up and we got the fuck up out of there, man, because the Most High just used the spirit of death. Well, the destroyer to to kill the firstborns, to kill the firstborns of everyone and everything in Egypt. Besides the people who had the blood on the posts, on the doorposts, which was who? The Israelites. And it said that throughout the whole scripture. All right, he didn't save. He only saved the Israelites, man. He killed the Egyptians to save the Israelites. Isn't that something? That goes to show you who he loves. But with that, I want to give all praise and glory honor to Yahweh, Bashem Yahshai, Bashem Ruach HaKodesh, and Shalom.